Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 4th of May 2023. Let's start with our session. What is the theme of International Girls in ICT Day 2023? So this day is observed every year on 27th of April to encourage and empower the girls and the young women so that they can explore and pursue the careers in information and communication technology. And this year the theme is Digital Skills for Life. Okay. Also, International Telecommunication Union leads the observation every year. Fine. So two things are important. When do we observe International Girls in ICT Day? On 27th of April. And this year the theme is Digital Skills for Life. Now, if we revise few important days and themes, so first is the Labor Day. Also, this day is known as International Workers' Day. It is observed every year on 1st of May, right? Then there is this World Dance Day. Dance Day is observed on 29th of April. And many times this question has been asked in SSC CGL examination. Next is World Malaria Day. This day is observed every year on 25th of April. And this year the theme is Time to Deliver, Zero Malaria, Invest, Innovate and Implement. Okay. And one last day is Earth Day. Earth Day is observed every year on 22nd of April. And this year the theme is Invest in our planet. Okay. So these are the few important days and themes that we have to remember. Next question is, which institution released the Promoting Millets in Diets report? So this report has been released by Niti Aayog recently, and it provides a set of good and innovative practices that have been adopted by the state governments and the organizations across the various aspects of the millet value chain. Fine. So this is a report from Niti Aayog. Now, if we talk about few important reports and rankings, there is this World Press Freedom Index that has been released recently. And in this, India has been ranked at 161 position out of 180 countries. So India's ranking is extremely poor in this index. And which countries were at the top? They were basically the Nordic countries. First was Norway, second was Ireland, and the third was Denmark. Okay, these are the top 3 countries. And which are the bottom 3 countries? These are Vietnam, second is China, and the third is North Korea. Strange thing is, the country Afghanistan, where Taliban has interfered, this country has also better ranking than India in this Press Freedom Index, and Afghanistan's rank is 152. Okay. Now the next report is the World Bank's Logistic Performance Index. It is released by the World Bank, and India's rank in this is 38 out of 139 countries. Now, can you tell me which is the world's wealthiest city as per a recent report? This is New York. Second wealthiest city is Tokyo from the country Japan. And from India, Mumbai has been ranked at 21st position, means Mumbai is the 21st wealthiest city at global level. Fine. So these are the few important rankings and indices that we have to remember. Next is Washington Declaration is a bilateral agreement that was signed between the US and which other country? Actually, this Washington Declaration is a bilateral agreement that was recently signed between US and South Korea. And according to this agreement, while South Korea will not develop its own nuclear weapon, the US will help in the use of the nuclear weapon in case of potential conflict with the country North Korea. Fine. So basically, South Korea is now no more developing its own nuclear weapon, but if there would be a conflict between North Korea and South Korea, then US will help South Korea. Fine. So this Washington Declaration is a bilateral agreement between US and South Korea. Now let's see a few important things why USA was in news these days. First of all, it was in news because of GRX 810. What is this? This is a 3D printed super alloy. Okay. Then second reason is US scientists have recently developed the mobile vaccine partner. Okay. And it can produce hundreds of vaccine doses within a single day. That's why it is a good achievement. Now there is a report from CIPRI, and as per this report, US is the largest military spender. Fine. And which three countries were at the top in this report in terms of military spending? First was US, second was China, and the third was Russia. Right. Then also US was in news because of its COPE India exercise. This is the exercise between India and US, and it was held in the month of April. Where? So venue was West Bengal. Okay. Now next is, which city is the host of the Quad Summit 2023? So Quad Summit will be organized in Sydney on 24th of May this year. And this summit will be the third in-person meeting between the leaders of Quad countries. Which countries comes under Quad? US, Australia, India and Japan. Right? And the first two Quad meetings were held in the US and Japan. And this is the first time that Australia will be hosting this particular meeting. Fine. So which city is the host of Quad Summit? Answer would be Sydney. And which countries comes under Quad? So these are US, Australia, India and Japan. You can also be asked like, which among the following four countries have not hosted the Quad Summit or Quad meeting? So this is India. Okay. Now if you talk about few important summits and the conferences, recently the 6th edition of Advantage Healthcare India meeting was held at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. Right. Then there is this Global Buddhist Conference, the venue for which was New Delhi once again. Also, the Global Conference on Compressed Biogas was hosted by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. You have to tell me who is the current Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas. Please write your answers in the comment section. Next is, which company has been recently upgraded to the status of Navratna CPSE in May 2023? This question is very important. And what are the Navratna companies? Basically, they are public sector companies that are given the financial autonomy to invest up to 1000 crore rupees without the Indian government's approval. Okay. So recently, Union Finance Ministry has upgraded the status of Rail Vikas Nigam Limited from Category 1 Mini Ratna to now Navratna Central Public Sector Enterprise. Fine. So which company has been upgraded to the status of Navratna Central Public Sector Enterprise? This is Rail Vikas Nigam Limited. And you can also be asked what was its status earlier. So answer would be Category 1 Mini Ratna. Now talking about important ministries of India, the Pashudhan Jagruti Abhiyan is the initiative of Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, right? Then there is a portal named as India Handmade Portal. This portal belongs to Ministry of Textile. Okay. The next is Nipun. Nipun is actually the initiative of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And what is the full form of Nipun? The National Initiative for Promotion of Upskilling of the Nirmal Workers. Fine. Nipun was in news these days, so you can be asked about its ministry. So you have to remember that it belongs to Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Rapid Support Forces, which was seen in the news recently, is the paramilitary group of which particular country? Actually, the military of Sudan country and the Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group are engaged in the armed conflict in the capital of Sudan, Khartoum, and in other places, raising fears of a civil war. And RSF is commanded by General Muhammad Hamdan Dagalo, who is commonly known as Hemeti or Little Muhammad. Currently, he holds the position of Deputy Head of Sudan's ruling Sovereign Council. Fine. So, this is a paramilitary group of the country, Sudan. And to evacuate Indian citizens from the country Sudan, Indian government has launched an operation named as Operation Kaveri. Fine. Next is Fit for 55 package is associated with which association? So this is associated with European Union, and it is a set of proposal to revise and update the European Union legislation and launch new initiatives to achieve the reduction of carbon emissions by 55% by 2030 if we compared it to a 1990 benchmark. So as a part of this particular package, changes were made to the European Union's emission trading system to bring down the emissions in the industrial sector. Fine. So this package is related to European Union. Next is, which institution has launched the liquid nano diammonia phosphate in India? So liquid nano diammonia phosphate has been launched recently by the Union Cooperation Minister Amit Shah, and it belongs to IFCO. Okay. Basically 500 ml of nano liquid diammonium phosphate is equivalent to 50 kgs of conventional granular diammonia phosphate, right? And the commercial sale was launched at 600 rupees per 500 ml bottle, while the bag is currently sold at 1350 rupees. So now it is expected to increase the food grain production and curb the export. Fine. Next is, which term denotes the extremely luminous and powerful active galactic nucleus? So these are quasars. Quasars are actually short term for the quasi-stellar radio sources, and they were first discovered 6 decades ago. Actually, they are in supermassive black holes at the center of galaxies, and a quasar is an extremely luminous and powerful active galactic nucleus. Why it was in news? Because according to a new study, the collision of 2 galaxies is likely to ignite a quasar. Fine. So this is a science and technology question. At least you have to know what is quasar. Okay. Next is, which city is the host of United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues? So the 22nd session of United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues will take place at United Nations Headquarters, New York. And this forum is the largest annual gathering of indigenous people, and the prior theme of the session is Indigenous Peoples, Human Health, Planetary and Territorial Health and Climate Change. Okay, this was the whole theme for this session. So here correct answer would be New York. Now also you have to remember that recently Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has extended the deadline of its Smart Cities mission to June 2024. Why? So it will basically give all the 100 smart cities more time to complete their projects and development, right? And Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is associated with one festival named as Urban Climate Film Festival, the aim of which is to create awareness about the impact of climate change on the life in cities. Okay, so you can be asked that which ministry is associated with Urban Climate Film Festival. So that would be Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So these are the most important current affairs and the news from today. And now let's start with our revision session, in which we are doing the current affairs revision for the month of March, and this is part 12 in this series. So today we'll be doing the questions from 166 up to question number 180. Let's start. Trisa Jolly and Gayatri Gopichand, who were in the news recently, play which sports? Actually, they won the semi-finals of All England Badminton Championship that was held in Birmingham, and that's why they were in news. So they are associated with badminton. Which organization opened the strategic Zojila Pass located on the Great Himalayan Range? This is Border Roads Organization. This particular Zojila Pass is located on the Great Himalayan Range at an altitude of 11,650 feet. Which state is the key state partner of the International SME Convention 2023? So this is Madhya Pradesh, and the third edition of International SME Convention has been recently organized, and it is jointly held by the Union Ministries of MSME, External Affairs Ministry and the India SME Forum, right? So Madhya Pradesh government is the key state partner and the Uttar Pradesh government as the associate state partner. Which state has tabled the Advocate Protection Bill 2023? Answer is Rajasthan. Why? So that they can prevent the offences against the advocates like criminal force, criminal intimidation and assault, etc. XBB 116, which was seen in the news recently, is related to which particular disease? It is associated with COVID-19, and this is a new COVID variant. Which bloc recently announced two initiatives, the Net Zero Industry Act and the Critical Raw Materials Act? This is European Union. And these two initiatives have been announced under the Green Deal Industrial Plan. Okay. Aim is to boost domestic green manufacturing, and it establishes the policy framework to onshore mineral and metal processing and scale clean energy and battery technology supply chain within the European Union. Ticrasis zoedonia, which was seen in the news recently, belongs to which species? This is a kind of wasp species. Which city is the host of Civil 20 India 2023 Inception Conference? This is Nagpur. Okay, Nagpur, Maharashtra. And C20 India provides a platform for the civil society organizations from across the world to highlight the aspiration of people to the world leaders. Yuva Vigyani Karikram is a young scientist program organized by which particular institution? This is a young scientist program organized by ISRO, and it will encourage the student to STEM-based research and careers, and aim is to impart basic knowledge on space technology, space science and space application to the younger students in emerging trends in space science and technology amongst the youngsters. Copilot is the AI-powered digital assistant developed by which particular company? This is Microsoft. Which state organized the Yuva Utsav program? Answer would be Mizoram. Okay, so Mizoram organized it in the Siaha district. When is the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination observed? We observe this day on 21st of April every year. 21st of March every year. As per the report released by Standing Committee on Water Resources, overexploitation of groundwater for irrigation is a challenge in which Indian states? So, overexploitation of groundwater for irrigation has become a major challenge in Punjab and Haryana. Lakhi Mela is organized in which state or the Union Territory? So, Lakhi Mela is organized in the Karoli district of Rajasthan state. Okay. Which country-based laboratory released the study titled Pathways to Atmanirbhar Bharat? This is US. And the study noted that India can achieve energy independence by the end of 2047. Okay. So these are the next 15 questions from the month of March, and tomorrow we'll take it ahead and we'll continue from 181 and we'll go up to question number 195. Okay. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Meenuzad Sana signing off.